we're talking about the film Moxie. Amy Poehler directed it, and I think wrote it as well. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
No,
No.
not
She
at all.
only directed it. I think it was a book.
She directed and produced it. It was a book, and then the screenplay. Bleh, fuck. The screenplay was by Tamara Chestnut, whoever that is, and Dylan Meyer.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 2015 novel of the same name. That's what it was adapted from. But anyway, Moxie is one of the better films we've seen so far, which isn't really saying much. I don't know what Netflix is doing.
It really isn't. Not that we've seen as many as we were supposed to yet, but
I don't have high hopes.
did we ever?
um, no, they were always pretty mediocre. I guess we should be glad that we even had I Care a Lot, right?
Dude, I Care a Lot was pretty fire.
That's what I'm saying. I'm glad that we had that at least. But no, this one wasn't bad. Uh yeah, I love Amy Poehler. I think she's great. She wasn't in the film enough. Obviously, she casted herself as like a mother. So and it's a teenage film, so that kind of sucked. Um but yeah, I guess we should talk a little bit about the plot just so if you haven't seen it, you know what it's about.
All right, so we kind of just decided like 4 minutes ago. Somebody brought it to my attention that this is definitely a spoiler podcast, and it had always been my intention, sort of, that you would watch the movies and then listen to it, to just listen to our discussion and sort of be a part of the discussion. But in our trailer, I also definitely said that this is something you could listen to avoid bad movies, but you wouldn't be able to know that it's a bad movie until I've already spoiled it for you in the entire podcast. So we're going to move to sort of doing a little teaser that kind of gives you the vibe of the movie before the main episode is
Yeah,
released.
possibly even with our ratings. Greg is a little less familiar with film criticism, but there's definitely podcasts or this is more YouTube. I'm thinking. I used to be obsessed with movie reviews, but they would have versions where they talk about the movie for a decent amount of time and actually never spoil a thing, and then they had spoiler versions.
We're definitely spoiling the whole thing.
Yeah,
So
we're definitely
basically,
spoiling
at the
it.
beginning of every episode, I'm going to give the plot synopsis that Wikipedia provides, as long as it's not ridiculously long like some of the movies that we've seen.
Yeah.
And then we'll jump into our discussion just as a sort of refresher if it's been a while since you saw that movie, which hopefully, as we catch up in terms of timeline, you'll be listening to this pretty soon after the movie was released and after you've seen it. So you wouldn't need that as much, but just a refresher just in case.
It even helps me, honestly, because my brain barely works.
Shut up. All right. So, Moxie. Vivian is 16 years old and lives with her mother, Lisa. She goes to Rockport High School and joins her best friend, Claudia. They go to class taught by Mr. Davies. Vivian notices a classmate, Seth, who has gotten more attractive over the summer. Earlier, he used to be called Seth the Shrimp. This is like very on the nose.
I don't even remember it being like.
Mr. Davies introduces a new student, Lucy. Mr. Davies begins a discussion of The Great Gatsby, which Lucy criticizes as another tale of a rich white guy expressing sorrow over not having one woman. Mitchell interrupts Lucy's opinion and defends Gatsby. Later, Vivian witnesses as as Mitchell ends up taking the soda Lucy was trying to buy and spits in it. Lucy reports Mitchell to Principal Shelley, who doesn't want to penalize Mitchell and tries to avoid getting involved in the dilemma. At home, Vivian goes through Lisa's stuff and finds old zines and gets inspired. Next day at school, an incident happens where the jock's list is sent to everyone's phone, where many girls are embarrassed by their superlatives, giving them sexist and perverse opinions, and making the girls self-conscious. When Lucy is called a foul word by star Jock Mitchell,
Cunt.
Vivian becomes inspired by her feminist mother Lisa and starts Moxie, a zine aimed at calling out the unfair treatment of girls at the school and empowering them to come forward with their issues. Vivian befriends Lucy, as well as a group of other girls who have been put down, but her best friend Claudia is reluctant to get behind the movement, and it causes a rift between them. Vivian also starts a relationship with a classmate named Seth, who knows she started Moxie and fully supports her. After Mitchell wins an athlete award over the girls' candidate Kira, Vivian walks home depressed, drinking a bottle of champagne along the way. She comes home to find Lisa with John and is annoyed that she kept this relationship a secret from her. Vivian then throws up. This
This is a weird,
is
honestly,
a
synopsis.
very weird plot synopsis because they didn't mention who John was, and it's just strange.
It also sounds like a child wrote it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
Oh
like
my-
the usual
Sorry, guys.
Wikipedia goods. Um, what the fuck?
This is weird.
Later, the Moxie girls respond to Mitchell's win by putting crude stickers all over the school. Principal Shelley, who was called out by Moxie for not supporting the girls, attempts to shut down the group. Claudia, who eventually joined the group, takes the fall for it. Vivian then hits a low point when Claudia calls her out for not coming forward, while also hitting a bump with Seth and Lisa after she yells at them and Lisa's boyfriend John during dinner.
That was cringy, by the way.
It was. Vivian finds a note from an anonymous girl who claimed to have been raped the previous year. Vivian gets Moxie supporters to stage a walkout in support of the girl. The majority of students do so, and Vivian reveals to have started Moxie. Head cheerleader Emma comes forward as the girl who wrote the note, stating that Mitchell, her ex, was the rapist. Sorry. She stands up and reveals to everyone that Mitchell raped her the previous year when they were dating, and him calling her most bangable left her mortified. All the students are horrified and lend their support. Shelley overhears and prepares to punish Mitchell at last. Vivian reconciles with her mom, Claudia, and Seth, and Moxie gains more followers. Lisa expresses pride in her daughter. The girls throw a party in celebration for Moxie. Not a great.
No, it didn't
Plot
remind me
summary
of
at all.
certain things, but also strange. I guess we can start from the top. Okay, so yeah, it does start with an English class. Seth, I didn't really even notice that he wasn't even important in the plot yet. That's weird that they brought that up.
Well, it's the first love interest.
Well, no, but that just didn't. Yeah, but anyway, the new
Also,
student
just
Lucy.
on the side, less toxic Reggie from Riverdale.
Who?
Seth.
He's not toxic at all, and he's way more attractive.
That's why I said less toxic.
And also, he was a jock though. Seth wasn't a jock. He was like a skater boy.
Yeah, but like,
I don't agree with that. I'm gonna say I don't. If anyone watches Riverdale out there, not that I do anymore. I don't even remember what happened, but
she made me watch it.
yeah. No, whoa, no.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen. There's been so many seasons we haven't even seen.
Whatever, Moxie.
Anyway, Lucy, they didn't mention was black and like totally not from. I think she's from San Francisco or like the Bay Area or something. Like
She was from the Bay.
yeah, she's from a more progressive area, which is she just isn't that cookie cutter suburbia thing. So they should have mentioned that in this plot. So they are discussing The Great Gatsby, and she does throw out that whole like, yeah, it's about a white guy, and Mitchell.
It's a valid point.
No, it's true.
It was an entirely valid point. She was
No,
like, why are we listening to this guy lament about the fact that he can't have one fucking woman when he's rich, lives in a mansion, and is like can have whoever he wants?
Okay, but that book gets a little deeper. It's about like, money not being everything. But either way, Mitchell interrupts her, but it's peculiar because one, he seems so impassioned, but two, he actually likes her. That's the weird thing. He's kind of into her. I don't know if you remember that. The same thing with the soda, because he was like, let me buy you a soda. She's like, I'm going to buy my own soda.
You think he's into her?
He was trying to like make sexual advances on her.
Really?
You didn't get that?
I didn't get that
Because she rejected him so much, that's when he got angry. Oh, I picked up on that immediately.
I thought it was just that he feels... Not that he was coming on to her like that, but that any sort of rejection against him is, like, something huge to him.
No, it was definitely sexual. That's why she was like, yo, that dude's a rapist. And I immediately caught that. I was like, yeah, he...
I thought she caught that from how vile he was in return to just her normal rejection.
No, it was sexual.
Mm.
I definitely immediately was like, he's trying to fuck her. He thinks, or he's at least fascinated by her.
I mean, he definitely seemed creepy rapist the second he spit in her soda, because he could have just like fucking thrown her soda like away.
Or not done anything. The fact that he did anything at all is super creepy. But yes, that is how that started, in my opinion. Okay, where does it? Oh yeah, the principal doesn't want to penalize him, but this also seems very like, I don't know. It just seemed like the principal was too, like,
Not proactive?
Yeah, like a principal has to be more proactive. Like,
she wasn't
even...
doing anything. She was like, this is a lot of paperwork. Like,
Yeah,
if I'm going to take this seriously.
No principal's going to do that.
And she had won, like, that NAACP award or some shit like that for best principal in 2016.
Oops, I'm so sorry.
Jesus.
I didn't mean... Sorry, guys, I hit the mic. Yeah, no. I didn't believe that at all. That was a little bit... This movie did some things well, but what I will say is it simplified too much. That was a problem I had. Okay. Let's see. Vivian goes through Lisa's stuff, and she basically finds about her mom's, like, feminist past. For some reason, I feel like the synopsis makes it seem like Vivian was kind of, like, egged on by her mom, but, like, her mom didn't actually know that she did anything with Moxie. She didn't know that she found these, like, she didn't really know anything. No.
And then they kind of... It also just introduced John without introducing John. It was just like Vivian was mad at John. We didn't even know who John was from that plot summary.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. This whole thing's almost kind of throwing me off.
I'm almost confused, yeah. I'm trying to work with it,
Do we have to even follow through with, like, the whole plot thing?
Well, because it is reminding me of some stuff. I'm adding things back, like, into it. Oh, okay, the list. This is interesting. So, they do have a list every year. And there's, like, a pep rally or whatever. And then this list just goes out, and I guess it's about the girls in the school, and they rank them for different things.
Has that been in something else before?
Yes. Well, actually, it was in Pen 15 that I saw, where they make, lists about girls.
Not that. Something else.
I don't know. That might be a thing that they actually do in girls. I don't know. It's never happened in a school I went to. And I have mixed feelings about it, because you shouldn't rank women. You shouldn't do that shit. And I wish we could see, like, a full list. Like, I don't even know what would be on the list. But honestly, I'm going to tell y'all some real shit. In high school...
Not the hair thing.
No.
Oh.
Oh, no. I almost feel like I have to bring it up now. No, I wasn't thinking that at all. I was going to say I was a really ugly little thing in high school. So if I got, rated, like, nicest rack, like, that's not nice in general, but I would have been living. I would have been living. But also, I did lose for best hair. But that's a white supremacy thing that happened at my school. Greg doesn't want me to talk about it. He wants to silence me again. That's okay. Wow. It'd be like that with the patriarchy.
Wow.
Anyway, so, but yes. Yeah, Lucy is basically called a cunt by John. Or Michael, I'm sorry. Mitchell. So I can't read. But again, that's because he rejected her, his advances. Okay.
Also,
they're not even talking about the way she starts the group. She puts, like, these little flyers in the bathroom, and people start picking them up.
Well, again, we're talking about this as if the people have seen the movie.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just telling you that they left that out.
They left out a lot of shit. We could just go freeform now, honestly.
Alright, fine. And, yeah.
Because this summary is just complete ass. There's no way to follow it along like we usually do and just add points to that. Moxie was creative. Not the movie itself, the actual magazine that she made.
Oh, yeah, but I wish we got to see what was in it more.
More than just the little snippets that we did.
Well, because there probably was nothing in it.
I don't think there were, like, articles. I'm pretty sure it was just Principal's an asshole, Mitchell's a cunt.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't know how much Vivian knew of anything, and it was weird because
she really wasn't a feminist.
It's not that she wasn't a feminist.
Until it was spurred on by Lucy and then sort of her mom. So she was kind of doing that thing where, like fake it until you make it.
Well, Moxie suffers from... Actually, it's funny, Amy Poehler mentioned this. She's like, we weren't intersexual back then. I would almost say that Vivian as the lead is not intersectional because she did that typical white woman thing where she was like the head person.
She was the white savior for female humanity in that school.
Kind of, yeah, but she also didn't really know too much what was going on, and she hid for the majority of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is an issue because her friend, the synopsis did mention this. What was her friend's? Claudia? Claudia took the fall for her initially, and Claudia was hesitant to join this group. And it's not because Claudia didn't care about women's rights. Claudia was Asian, which they left out again.
Yes, and that is extremely important because not only was she Asian, she was the child of first-generation immigrants.
Yes.
So they are, like, fresh from a foreign nation. Don't
rock the boat, yo.
Yeah.
Just go to college.
Go to college, get smart. We're struggling so that we can provide for you. You can get an education and be something in this country that we came to for you to have opportunities.
Which is basically what Claudia had to tell Vivian. Which Vivian should have fucking known.
Because she was her best friend.
It was her best friend. Exactly. Like, that should have been obvious.
You don't... she was so particularly stupid that she was just like, nah, Claudia's parents are just weird.
No, Claudia's parents are just Asian.
They're just trying to make their daughter become something in this world full of struggle, and you don't know about that because you're white and your mom's a doctor.
Is her mom a doctor?
I assume she was a doctor. John, or whoever the fuck his name was a surgeon. They were both wearing scrubs.
Oh, maybe you're right. I don't know.
They have a decent house. She goes to a good school.
They do have a nice house.
Yeah, they had like a lot of shit.
Yeah, they had a lot of shit. So yeah, I thought that was like particularly, like, she was particularly stupid for a lead. I didn't like her. I also didn't love the way she looked. She was just like very like, she had that frailness about her. I don't know.
Ugh, and then we'll get into this. Can Hollywood once...
No, we don't have to get there yet. We were going to talk about it.
Fine.
Because, like, we have more to the film to talk about before we start.
Go.
Yeah, so...
I like the dude at the print shop.
The print shop?
Yeah, where he was, like, really sussed out by her at first, but then he was actually part of the movement eventually. Like, she was taking pictures of him, like...
Yeah.
Throwing up the fists for Instagram and shit.
It was kind of cool, yeah. It felt very, I guess, modern.
You know what's funny and threw me off? When Lucy kissed Kira's friend at the party at the end. You remember that?
Who?
The soccer player.
Yeah.
Lucy kissed her.
Did she really? Like, in the mouth?
Yes. And then they started making out like it was a vivid point of the movie.
Like a feminist thing? Like,
no, like they're gay.
Yeah, but like...
But I guess... I don't know.
I never know what that... Okay. That's so funny. I didn't even realize. I think
it was just low-key, but there was a little bit of tension between them, too.
I was a little bit distracted.
By what?
I don't know. Someone came rolling up in that,
Shut up. You can't talk about it.
And I was like, really? Right now? You're not even a main character.
You can't talk about it.
I'm not gonna talk about it. Greg says we're not PC enough, and...
As it is.
And
there are certain topics that are off the table.
So, he said this is an absolute no.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got distracted. Also, did you realize one of the women in the group of Moxie was trans?
Yes.
I did pick
did
up
know
on that first,
immediately when they had the first meeting at that dude's party.
I thought maybe, but I wasn't sure.
Because they said that the teachers weren't calling them by their new name.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'm glad. Okay. Well, when I figured that out, I thought that was actually pretty cool. Yeah, I thought that was actually pretty cool.
Because that person can belong in a feminist group.
Well, really, even guys should have been more in it because
But I
Seth
liked
was.
that Seth did that.
Yeah,
That was a cute little thing that they did where he had the stars that day.
yeah. There's like some just like cute little like high school, things.
I
Um.
loved that they addressed the dress code thing.
Oh yeah, because that was stupid even in my school.
And
Yeah,
that they really pointed it out in the classroom. She was like, "That bitch is wearing a fucking spaghetti strap top right now.
yeah,
Why am I different?"
yeah.
And
'Cause
they couldn't they can't just
they
say it's
can't say
because you
you're
have huge fucking
bodacious.
tits.
Yeah, that even happened in my school. Because in my school we had the same thing with a dress code, and it really never made any sense because it's like, you might distract men from studying.
That's none of my goddamn business.
Don't look at me.
Yeah,
Like,
pay attention to your shit.
yeah, what do you mean? I mean, I've seen guys who are like, you don't think I'd get distracted on occasion
But
by a
then they brought it
good-looking
up that
man?
that one dude was shirtless all the time. Dude was always taking his shirt off.
Would that distract me? Absolutely. But
Mitchell's
that's
black backup, which was like his token black friend.
yeah, that was weird. That was a weird vibe.
That really was weird because he was really like his yes man, but in an almost racist way.
He to the end, like they even did
All the way.
they did the walkout for the rape, and they were like, "We're staying in class." The
Yeah.
teacher didn't even stay in class
No.
because
And he had the stars. That was sick.
that was
That
cool.
was a sick reveal. I forget what's that guy's name, the actor?
I don't remember, but
I
like
love him in a lot of shit that he pops up in.
Yeah.
When he was like, "It's out of my hands," and the stars were on the insides of his hands, that was sick, dude.
Well, because it was weird at first. He wasn't like
He was weird, but also
into it. And
I
then,
sort of understood his uncomfortability on the topic.
well, because he's a teacher, so he's not really
Yeah.
supposed to be political. But then obviously it was a rape. You can't not
Yeah.
be political. Even the principal was like, "Mitchell, come to the office." Mitchell's going to jail, bitch. Like,
Yeah, there's no office about it.
what? So I thought that was kind of cool. It was a little fantastical though at points. Obviously, like that rally never would have happened. Like, you can't deface the school with stickers and like all sorts of shit.
Oh,
Or
you
she
did
wrote
a
in
sticker
blood.
thing. They got in trouble with that. She didn't write in blood. It was
Oh
paint.
yeah, it was paint.
Jesus Christ. Whose blood did she get?
Paint.
I liked watching
blood.
her dodge the janitor too.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
And the little love story with
With
Seth
Seth?
was really cute. There was a little
Until
bit of
her blow up.
yeah. She had like there was a dinner that she had with her mom, her new boyfriend.
All
and
right, so
Seth.
what they didn't mention is that Lisa and Vivian were at the supermarket and they ran into this guy named John who works with her mom, and there was a little bit where she's like, sometimes opposites attract or whatever because John isn't like her.
Which
and
apparently she doesn't eat vegetables or some weird shit like that.
I don't know. She's just always eating junk food. Like
That's
dinner
what her
was
mom-
a pint of ice cream one night. So she invites John over for dinner, and Vivian's like, "Well, the only way John can come for dinner is if Seth comes for dinner." We're like, "Okay, they're setting up like a nice. It should be comedic because it's gonna be the awkward younger boyfriend and the awkward older boyfriend and the two opposite women in the scenario
that are maybe at odds. I don't know.
But Vivian like freaked the fuck out, and I don't even remember what the.
She was dealing with a lot of external pressure. It actually had nothing to do with the dinner at all. It was just honestly, it looked so.
Yeah, she was like digging into John, and then Seth was like, "Why are you doing that?" And she was like, "You're a piece of shit, Seth," and just ran away.
It was cringy, but
It was
from what I
realistic.
remember from being a teenage girl, you really don't make sense a lot of the time, and you're always fighting with your mother. I don't know why teenage girls want to fight with their mom all the time, but they do about everything.
Yeah, and then his reaction to that was real. Like he was like, "I'm not just gonna let you walk all over me. Like we're barely even like we just started dating, and you left me alone at a dinner with your mom and her boyfriend after yelling at me and calling me like a dumb piece of shit."
Is that what she called him?
No,
I don't remember. I just remember her being like,
she definitely said some very mean things, and that's the only way I can summarize them.
oh, I just didn't really remember. I just remember her being like, she was just losing her shit a little bit. That's all. I don't know. It was cringy though. It was hard to watch.
She like said that we can't all be like some perfect person who gets along with everybody or some shit like that.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. What else happened that I think is worth talking about?
The list was, I keep thinking, I don't remember what it was about or where it was from. But the list part was interesting because it was almost Gossip Girlian in the way that it like was sent out to everybody at the same time.
I don't know how you do that.
It doesn't happen. It does not happen. It's not something that stupid Mitchell would even be fucking capable of, sending out some sort of mass broadcast SMS that has like a link to this list.
Oh. Okay, wait.
So fucked up that he labeled the girl that he raped most bangable, first off. But then there was rankings for everything. So it was like ugliest, like biggest glow up over the year, best tits, best ass, like best hair, Nicolette.
Okay, listen, this is not my vanity, people, and it's not because I wanted to win best hair. It wasn't even a list like that.
Most improved. It was like weird shit.
Most improved.
Who made it?
Can I win most improved? Oh, I won most improved twice at sailing camp.
See?
Maybe that's what my...
You're going places.
Oh, wait. Yeah, they don't even know us on this podcast or anything. Did we even tell them where we're from?
What?
Do they know where we're from?
No.
Oh, we're from New York.
Well, I mean, people... The only people who will be listening to this as we start is people who know us.
Well, at first.
Yeah.
I just realized we never talked. One of these days we'll have to give you a little bit of a, who you listening
episode?
to. Yeah. Like,
Okay.
Who are we?
Well, I mean, I guess the whole point of that is the other podcast.
No, that's a little too much. I'll be naked on there. I'm just talking about just a little tiny sliver of who we are. Spoiler. Yeah, Greg and I will both be naked, actually. We're quite attractive individuals. So, you might even find us on Patreon. Yeah, we're going to do a whole podcast. We're just going to be naked. So, you're going to pay so you can look at us.
Not doing that.
Because we're some hotties. We're on a cut right now, both of us.
The funeral home scene was cute.
Also very unrealistic, but yes.
Unrealistic, weird, but cute.
They were in a coffin, bro. That was really weird.
Yeah.
It wasn't cute. Outside of Buffy, that's just weird.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe that normalized it for me.
Yeah. I was like, I wouldn't get into a coffin with a boy I barely know, or actually anyone.
I probably wouldn't have broken into a funeral home.
He's a guy, I've come in here, to skate or something?
Yeah.
Why would you be skating inside?
No, he skates on, like, the premises, but he noticed that, like, the door was unlocked or some shit like that, and he was like, their security is garbage. I'm like, a funeral home doesn't have security, bro. It's just a door.
Don't go in there. Although I guess I'd fuck in a coffin, but that's just...
You're so macabre.
Well, that's just to... Wait, Sorry, guys, it's late at night here.
Okay, cool.
No.
I'd fuck in a coffin.
That's just because I like to push... No, taboo. That's the only reason. It's not because I get off of being in a coffin. It's just Did
you fuck in a coffin on Halloween?
That's a little more on the nose, but I absolutely would.
Spooky.
I definitely would. I can't think of any other more, like, morbid places to have sex.
The whole scene with them in the car, where he's like, I want to save my virginity for someone special. And she, like, started freaking out, and he was like, no, I mean you, stupid, but just not rushed before a football game was kind of cute.
And also in the car, because car sex is the worst.
Yeah, that's not... It's not the way to go.
But also, that's, like, sort of also unrealistic. That's another thing. I have issues with the way they portray the introduction into sexuality for...
Because that's not how it goes.
No, it does not. It's usually very awkward. Guys are not very sentimental. I'll tell you that.
It was very romantic.
Yeah, it's not romantic.
In a way that your first time for both of them, and both of them having been awkward just the year before, and her definitely still being awkward, wouldn't have gone that way.
Yeah, you just don't know anything about romance. Like, you just don't. I mean...
Well, they've obviously never had a romantic relationship, so how would they?
But that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's why it's unrealistic. I'm just saying it was cute.
And also, a young guy, he would definitely fuck her in the car.
Yeah!
I've never met a boy in my life. A teenage boy that's like, let's not have sex, please.
Yeah, let's just do it later in a better lighting, more comfortable space.
What?
No.
The one thing I did want to mention too was the I guess like the sports uh like athlete of whatever. I don't know what the fuck it was.
What?
Her and
Oh, there was like a sponsored
it was a
by a local
competition.
sporting goods competition at the school for like athlete of the year who would go on to represent the school at some sort of event,
Yes, it was
but
Mitchell.
would win a scholarship for college.
Yeah, yeah. It was Mitchell who played on the football team, which we should mention that is not very good. They
They're
don't win
garbage
ever.
ass. They never win, even though it's like this huge event every time they have a football game, and
My
there's
high
like a
school was the
whole
same way,
cheerleading
yeah.
squad. Which
Um,
actually, cheerleading squad, fucking on point, bro. They were doing some crazy maneuvers. There were
that's pretty cool.
flips, backflips, like radical pyramids. It was awesome.
Um,
Better than they deserved.
yeah. And then
Kira
Kira
from
was
the
the head
soccer
of the
team.
soccer team. But actually, it was a women's soccer. Well, honestly, any women's sport, even if you do well, they don't really care. But she was a great. Her team like went all state or something like that, whatever. So they put her in the running. Um, and she ended up losing. I don't know if it was rigged or not. They never really like let us know.
They never addressed it.
But
And
I
you
kind of
feel like it
assume
is
it is
most likely
rigged.
rigged?
But the thing that really hurt was that she was a black woman, and the scholarship money.
Yeah.
And Mitchell, I don't. They never talk about if he's like
Mitchell's rich.
he's rich. I'm pretty sure actually that was that party at his house.
No, it was at the awkward
Oh, it was
mascot's house. Which
yeah.
that dude is funny.
Yeah, that guy is funny.
That guy was
He might have even
funny.
been school president.
Maybe because he was doing the morning announcements, which also very professional studio for some random high school's morning announcements.
It was cool. But yeah, Mitchell, I'm pretty sure is rich. So that kind of felt a little bit like instead of a popularity contest, there was actual like financial like ramifications. That felt like
Yeah.
really shitty to me.
It wasn't a huge scholarship because it was just like,
I think it was like $10,000,
was it?
wasn't it?
I thought it was 2. It could have been 10,000. Really, not that much towards college, but it's still a decent amount of money that somebody could use. Although I guess we're assuming that because Kira's a POC that she's less financially endowed.
I mean, we could be. Is that our own internalized racism? I don't know. Maybe it's reparations. I'm black, in case you all didn't know.
And I'm brown. I guess.
Well, he's Greek and Dominican, so Afro Latina.
I'm brown.
Yeah. But yeah.
The Mitchell heads was such a weird vibe.
That's
People
over the
literally
top.
had huge cutouts of Mitchell's head
Dude, so over the
in
top.
the stands.
So again, like I went to a cookie cutter high school. Sometimes some shit is just like too much, like not realistic. But finally, I think we should address the thing that Greg really wanted to talk about because Moxie is all about these societies like beauty standards on women and how women always have to be perfect and you know life is just not like that, etc., etc. Why cast a bunch of 20-year-olds as teenagers? Because it really hurts your self-esteem when you're growing up and you're like, why the fuck don't I look like that? Like, if I don't look the way when I was 16 years old, 17, even 18, I thought I was going to look the way that I look currently today at 24, and ain't going to happen.
As a 16-year-old.
Yes, but as a 16-year-old.
Because of the fact that almost all popular media portrays high school students via almost middle-aged people.
You just don't peak attractiveness-wise when you're a teenager. You just don't.
16-year-olds in this movie played by 24-year-olds. Mitchell, whether he's a senior or not, I don't know, because I thought he was in their actual class because they had classes with him.
Yeah.
Captain of the football team. Played by a 32-year-old man.
He's 32?
He had 5 o'clock shadow in the fucking movie. Like
Wow.
KJ Appa in Riverdale.
I mean, honestly, it makes me feel better because sometimes I see these movies, I'm like, these people are so hot. Like, I'd fuck them. And then you're like, they're adults too. That's fine.
That aside, it really is
Doesn't it cause some sort of trauma growing up?
It has to.
No, I'm saying, but didn't you feel it at the time?
Yeah, because whether you're a boy or a girl or whatever you
That's what I'm
identify
saying.
with, you're looking at these people, and you're like, shit, I'm gonna look like that in like 3 years, when I'm a junior in high school, and you get there and you're like, what? And then as a sort of adult, you're looking at high school students now. You're like, those people look like fucking children.
Yeah. Yes, that's
And
also weird.
the reason they look like children, first of all, is because they are technically.
Yeah.
But also because we've been looking at high school students in movies and seeing grown ass people but thinking they're kids.
Kind of, yes. It's weird.
So yeah, when a girl who's supposedly 17 in this movie has a huge rack and a fat ass and is totally dolled up in makeup and looks fantastic, and the next guy has a six pack and is super buff and like a fully realized adult male, both sides are looking at those people and they're like, why don't I look like that? Why don't I have abs? Why aren't I built and statuesque? And sure, you can have the idea that, when you watch a movie or when you look at TV, you want to see pretty people, right? There are pretty people that are the age of the characters in this movie that are fully capable of acting out those parts. It's not like there was nudity in this movie.
No,
there was nothing super risque.
No.
To say that, oh, we can't have a 17-year-old play that part because it's iffy. It's a little dodgy. We can't do that.
But see, this is another issue I have. Well, actually, I thought Pen 15 was so good, which is a show I recently watched on Hulu because they actually had. No, it's Pen 15.
Penis.
See, you're not PC. Anyway, they actually had middle schoolers play middle schoolers. And it was actually pretty fucking cool because you're like, wait, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, this is the other thing too, is that when they have these people play, not only are they adults, but they're always super fucking attractive. Like, you were talking about, like, why don't I look statuesque? I know plenty of guys in their 20s that do not look... Honestly, a lot of men, dad bods.
Will never look like the people in that movie.
They will never, ever... Whether that's just because they don't choose to look like... I mean, not choose to. There, some stuff's just genetics, but some stuff is just lifestyle, how you want to be, whatever. But they will never look like that. Like, why are we pushing this thing? Like, this is top tier 1%.
And sure, extras in the movie looked like normal people.
Extras, they wanted to fuck it up. They were like,
but the main cast,
let's pick.
Why do they all look perfect?
Scrape the dirt from the earth as the extras.
You're sick.
I can't even tell you what I'm referencing. I'm sorry.
You're sick.
Fuck me, that's funny.
You're going to hell.
I know. But anyway, yes, I just have a lot of issues with that. Yeah. Just because it's maddening, and I feel like it causes body dysmorphia.
High School Musical was probably the last time, and I feel like even
they were high
older.
schoolers. No,
they were high schoolers.
They were high schoolers.
That's why
Zac Efron. Look at him.
Yeah,
he was a hot teenager,
but it was realistic.
Yes,
it was realistic.
But he actually was a hot teenager.
Yeah, that's
I'm
why
allowed to say that because I was in middle school. And actually, I was in elementary school when I saw that.
You could just still say he's a hot teenager.
I don't really feel sexually attracted to teenagers anymore.
But objectively, because of the fact that you were in that moment, and also even just looking back at it, like, he was an attractive person at that time.
That's true. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Sorry, I was just thinking if today's time, like, would I have sex with teenage Zac Efron? I do not believe so.
I don't even think he looked as good.
He didn't, of course, because he was a teenager.
Because he was a teenager.
Duh.
People.
And you shouldn't go too. Yeah, just don't go too young.
What are you saying?
Don't go under 18, people.
I don't know. We actually had this conversation at work the other day. Like, about the portrayal of high school aged people by adults.
Honestly, I think it's still haunting me. Because I'm one of those people who never really got over the fact that I was not popular in high school and I was not. There's a lot of issues I had in high school, but
That's the other thing too. Like,
I'm
Claudia's a fucking nerd, not bullied. Nobody bullied her. Mitchell bullied her, but Mitchell bullied everybody.
Nerds weren't always bullied in my school. I feel like people weren't always bullied. Like, I don't think.
But she wasn't even. How do you put it? I don't know.
I don't think we went into her life enough, honestly. I think we just was so focused on Vivian, which was like kind of like bland. She was bland. But yeah, I
Wait,
feel like
who were we talking about?
I was saying Vivian. We only were mostly knew about Vivian's life. Like, we didn't go into other characters' like life, like in depth.
Oh, like in terms of the
to
movie?
know what their lives were about. But yeah, I think that the high school complex will last for so long. I mean, like, who knows?
They're just gonna keep doing it.
No, I just meant like the psychological damage it does. Like, I feel like I'm still dealing with it as an adult, and it's been years since I've been in high school, and I'm still like trying to be that, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to
Disney
do.
Channel does it right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but we don't watch that, but yeah.
Not anymore. But when we were watching it, most of those people were our age.
Yeah, they were just hot, but yeah. For that, our age group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because looking back on it, they look goofy, but in the moment, we were like, those are the best people on earth.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't look as goofy as I did.
Yeah, like when you were back in the day, like watching Wizards of Waverly Place, you're like, yo, Selena Gomez is the GOAT, bro. Like, she's so hot.
And she's still hot.
She's hot as fuck now, but like when you look back at it, you're like, yo, she looked like a fucking dork.
Yeah. So yeah, they do it right. But yeah, anyway, that was Moxie. So if I guess we should rate it because I don't really have anything else to say, other than I wish we like spent time with other characters. Like
yeah, because we don't even know Lucy's background.
We don't know anything.
We just know realized that she's a rambunctious rebel.
Yeah. And that she doesn't. I don't know. There's another black girl. It was really funny. That got up at the end. She was like, "Don't touch our hair."
That's an important cultural touchstone because people really do touch POC's hair without permission all the time.
Or just even asking. I don't think I've ever saw a white woman like, "Let me touch your hair."
Yeah, the fact that you even have the audacity to ask is crazy.
But why are you so curious? It's just hair.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, it's like a
Don't
petting zoo.
You're gonna see a really dark person and be like, "Can I touch your skin? I've never seen it that dark." Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I've gotten the hair question a couple times, and I'm pretty mixed, so I get that. What's your mix? You're so exotic. I get that all the time. Thank you. You just nod your head.
Or like then you tell them your mix and they're like, "Oh my god, that's crazy. Yeah, I've never seen that before."
Yeah, I'm like, it's like other types of people had
I'm
sex.
just kind of alive.
That's all. Just different types of people had sex, I guess.
We're all gonna be beige one day.
I don't know. Those white people are holding on pretty hard. Oh, a lot of Asians don't like to mix either, too. I'm not gonna say it's not just white people, but yeah, that's all I have to say. Do you want to rate it?
Yeah, you go.
Well, it's at 70s in the Rotten Tomatoes. I guess I would give it. What do we give?
I don't fucking remember. We gotta start writing that down.
Yeah, we gotta start doing this.
I'll give it a 7.4.
I'm gonna go with just a 7. I'm gonna say just 7 because honestly, I thought I liked it more than when we talked about it. I was kind of like,
yeah,
a little bit, yeah, because I was like,
because there are parts that are just like, meh.
I think we were just seeing so many shitty movies on Netflix, and I was like, wow, I can get through this.
It's something a little fresh that breezed through, and you were like, this is okay.
And I love Amy Poehler. I just wish she was in it more.
Did she have tattoos in the movie?
Vivian or Amy Poehler?
Lisa.
No.
Did she not?
I don't think so.
I love Amy Poehler.
She's great. Did you see
hilarious.
Parks and Rec?
Like clips. I haven't seen it.
He's lame. He don't love Amy Poehler.
Oh my god.
He's lame.
I still love you, Amy Poehler.
Imagine she's listening.
Yeah, right now as we're recording.
No, I
She's
meant
in
like
the next
when she
room.
hears this.
Welcome, Amy Poehler, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, Amy Poehler, if you're out there eventually listening to this, eventually, we have really high hopes out here. It would be great to hear from you.
Yeah, let's have you on the podcast.
I'll take you. Yeah, have you on the podcast. I'll take you to lunch anywhere you want to go.
Anywhere you want to go.
Greg can't come. It's just a girl's thing.
Maybe not.
Do you want to
anywhere
invite
wanna go, then.
Tina? That's cool too.
Shit, and I can't come. That's
It's
crazy.
for women.
Fuck you. You're seeing Amy Poehler and Tina Fey, and I can't.
I said
fucking
if she
come.
wants to bring her.
Holy shit.
I'll pay for them both.
Jeez. All right, Patrick Schwarzenegger. I guess if you're watching this, I'll take you to fucking lunch. That's
I'll
Mitchell.
fuck you.
Jesus.
I'll be really cut by then, so.
Just don't spit in her soda.
I'm not even gonna get there. This is already not a PC podcast. I was gonna say some crazy shit. We gotta go.
What is wrong with you?
It's late at night.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week with I don't actually know because I don't think we've chosen a movie.
There's the Shia LaBeouf one, but I've been avoiding it.
Pieces
it
of a
seems
Woman.
really...
That's because it's fucking traumatic.
I can't deal with any more
it's an
trauma.
Oscar nominee, so we have to.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Catch you next time.
Bye.